WandaVision is a TV series from Marvel that explores how the superhero Wanda builds a world from magic that perfectly flows through decades of classic sitcom tropes. Let's talk about how Wanda's creation of an artificial world relates to phony and performative femininity that can be seen today. When Wanda releases the Hex, she builds this world on the surface seems picture perfect. In the beginning of the series, she's a beautiful 1950s housewife with a handsome husband. With a cinched waist, classic pearl necklace, and perfect hair, she looks like the part of the ideal feminine housewife. It's quite the contrast to how she looks in the 2010s Modern Family version of herself, where she looks really disheveled and depressed. In the first episode, she thinks it's their anniversary and is doing everything she can to please her man. She takes advice from a magazine on how to act helpless, puts on lingerie, and is eager to please her man. In a classic sitcom mix-up, it turns out that it's not their anniversary, but her husband's boss is coming for dinner. So she changes from trying to impress Vision to impress the boss and his wife with cooking the perfect dinner. The advice that Agnes reads from the magazine reminded me of Instagram accounts that talk about femininity in relation to only superficial concepts. Advice on how dresses, makeup, and long hair will make you more feminine. Superficial advice about how men want women who can submit and be soft-spoken. And I love the feminine aesthetic as much as the next girl, but there is so much more depth to femininity than just looks. As Wanda's world travels through the different eras of sitcoms throughout the decades, she continues to look like the perfect feminine representation of each era. But in each era, Vision starts to become suspicious of the world and begins to question what's really going on. I saw it as a symbol of how no matter how much you try to perform femininity, it won't be enough to keep a man. True love is built on honest communication and an authentic bond, not by playing the role of some perfect woman. Femininity is much more than an aesthetic, and feminine energy can be embodied in so many other ways than just looking the part. True feminine women are comfortable in their own skin and build relationships based on their authentic truth. It's not about submitting to men and allowing folks to walk all over you. Feminine energy allows you to sit like a goddess on a pedestal. You allow yourself to lean back and receive what you know you're worthy of and already belongs to you. If you're looking for some clarity on the actions and beliefs of feminine women, I suggest checking out Adrienne Everhart and the Universe Guru here on YouTube. These women give an in-depth analysis and advice on how to embrace femininity with true authenticity. By the Halloween episode, it becomes clear to Wanda that she can't control Vision. That despite all her efforts to make everything picture perfect, her husband wants to know what's true and what's real. Just like Wanda's husband is turned off by the thought that Wanda is controlling a whole town of people, in real life we're turned off by women who feel it's their duty to constantly be in control. Women who are controlling people in their inner circle manifest in different ways. The controlling wife who constantly talks over her husband. The overbearing mother who pressures her children to get straight A's, or the friend who's super bossy and always has to have things her way or the highway. Often femininity is mistaken for perfection. Online I see comments from women on their feminine journey looking for the perfect man and want perfect friends that all act, talk, and behave exactly how they think a perfect person should. If anyone stands or steps out of that construct, then they get cut off. People aren't perfect. And pouring all of your energy to either trying to force perfection from others or cutting them out of your life completely is draining your feminine energy. Feminine women accept people for who they are and set clear boundaries in how they expect to be treated by others. They focus on being their best selves and not pressuring others to do exactly as they say or believe. Speaking of focusing on being the best version of yourself, we can see how Wanda's fake world was built so she didn't have to face her true self. She didn't want to face the real grief she felt from the death of Vision. When the town people confront her, they tell her all about their nightmares and how they can feel her pain.
We have your nightmares. No, that's not true.
I've kept you safe in here. You feel at peace. We feel your pain.
Your grief is poisoning us.
She's convinced herself that the townspeople were at peace and not affected by her mind control, and that she could avoid facing her grief by building a hex that no one would get hurt in the process. In our own lives, when we avoid grief or painful truths about ourselves by pretending that our lives are perfect, we can actually cause real harm to others as well. Have you ever lashed out on someone unexpectedly, immediately regret it, and realized you were misdirecting your anger? Or how about avoiding therapy, pretending that you're fine, only to find yourself attracting the same type of toxic people in your life over and over again? Surface level femininity will have you burying trauma deep down and pretending it doesn't exist, instead of tapping into your inner goddess that is ready to heal. Feminine energy is healing and starts with being gentle with yourself and giving yourself grace and permission to face reality, heal from trauma, and be in the path to be the best version of yourself.